Team Jackson, what's happening? So I posted this a couple of days ago, this particular scenario, but I'm still getting comments on it. There's some people who agree with me, and then quite a few people who feel like because of my stance, now I officially hate women. So I want y'all to tell me what you think, man. All right, so it's from a guy named Eric Haynes, right? And he says, I recently went on a date with a nice woman. We had dinner, drinks, and a great conversation. As the waiter brought our bill, my date asked me, could I buy 2 takeout dinners for her kids? I said no, because I don't even know her kids. She had an attitude for the rest of the night, so I cut the date short. Question, was I wrong for not buying her kids I never met dinner? And was she asking for too much too soon? Now, I saw kind of comments, most of them saying stuff like, well, maybe she was just testing him, and if so, then that means that he failed. I saw other comments saying, well, that's the role that he wants to play in her life eventually, so he was wrong for not buying her kids dinner. That's what he's supposed to do if that's what he's trying to do in the future. And I saw some comments saying a real gentleman would ask if she was in a tight spot financially and do something to help her out and not deny her and her kids food. So before we go forward, let me just say this. My stance is that no, he's not wrong. In fact, I think the woman is very much so out of line for even asking him to provide for her kids. And he's saying that it's too soon. That insinuates this is really early in the dating phase. But I want y'all to peep how he handled the situation. First off, he said no. He's not going for it. Secondly, he ended the date whenever he realized that the woman that wanted him to provide for her kids got an attitude because he wouldn't. And this just goes to show, this is the reason why I'm not so particular on talking about all the things that we as men go through in dating and relationship situations. Because if nothing else, we're really good at peeping red flags and bouncing whenever you bring us bullshit. That's one thing we're good at. We do not tolerate bullshit. You don't see a lot of guys that are with these women who are perpetual cheaters, having side babies and all this, that, and the other, sticking it out, talking about everybody got flaws, a woman gonna be a woman. That's just what you're supposed to do in relationships. You go through things. No, whenever we peep bullshit, we bounce. So what does that mean for women? It doesn't mean you can't have, flaws and make mistakes, but it does mean your margin for bullshit is slim to none. And this, in fact, is bullshit. And by the feedback, there are a lot of women who are more than willing to talk themselves out of what could be a damn good man. Like for the women saying, well, maybe she was just testing him. If she's testing him by doing this, then she failed. Because in the dating phase, you don't even know if he's qualified to be your partner, much less if he's qualified to play a role in your kid's life that's not even his role. So by testing him this way, there's nothing wrong with wanting to know whether or not he can be a provider, but this is the wrong time and place. This is the dating phase. And all you did was position yourself as a user, or at least a woman who has horrible priorities because you out at PF Chang's while your kid's at home hungry. Or for the women saying, that's the role that he wants to play eventually in her life. So yeah, he was wrong. Imagine a guy using that logic, saying, hey, you want to be a wife, right? You want to be my wife, right? So that means you need to go ahead and give me the key to your house. You need to start cleaning my house. You need to go ahead and give me sex on the first night. You need to co-sign for this car with me. What if a guy used that logic, talking about, oh, that's the role you want to play? No, a guy's role, whenever he's still your dating interest, is to simply put forth consistent effort and energy and interest and letting you know that he's serious about getting to know you and facilitate those activities in which you two can get to know each other doing. Not to be a provider for your household. But last but not least, the women that were saying things like, well, a real gentleman would help out if she's in such a tight spot. Before we talk about what a real gentleman would do, let's not forget what a real lady would not do, which is ask for a man to provide for her kids before he's in that role in her life and get mad because he doesn't want to. Now, if he gives out of the kindness of his heart, I salute him. That is cool. But if he's going on the date, he's going on the date to get to know you, not to get community service hours. So if times are that hard for you, then you need to either ask him ahead of time to give him the opportunity to say yay or nay before he goes on a date with you, or just eat breadsticks and that food that he pays for you. You need to get that in a to-go box and take it home to your kids. But the last thing you need to do is be sitting there screaming entitlement by catching the attitude because he won't provide for your kids. Because I'm going to tell you something. Entitlement to a man is what broke is to y'all women. It's a huge turnoff. But what really frustrates me about this whole situation is not necessarily the situation itself, but a lot of the feedback and women trying to justify this and apparently had the same mindset of this woman who was asking for this man to buy her kids food, because these are the types of experiences that a lot of single moms get painted with a broad brush under, and people thinking that they just out to use them and get something. But I personally know single moms who have way too much sense and dignity to be asking a man to provide for their kids on the first, second, or third date. So this isn't a single mom thing. This is an irresponsible, bad priority having and got life messed up thing. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think, man. Let me know if I'm tripping. I'll let y'all later. Peace.